took them off. I thought you were going to wear the glasses.
I was going to see what you're going to say.
Now put them back on so everybody knows what we're talking about.
I had the shades on for a minute. Yeah.
You had the
cool,
the cool shades.
What's up, man?
I can't take you seriously like that, man. All right. Hey, guys, let's go on. We've seen the comments. Who's here? Christian is here. So drop in the comments. Let us know that you guys can hear us. We're good audio check and all that kind of stuff. Thought we would do a live stream for you guys and just kind of hang out with y'all for a little bit. We get back to doing some streaming. So Zach, how are you on this fine Tuesday, July 11th morning?
Good, man. Can't complain. Yeah, it's been kind of boring in crypto, but boring's not always a bad thing, right? I mean,
I bet you most people would be like, "Oh my God, he just said boring." Yeah, it kind of is. We all know it, right?
It really has been. I mean, but I think it's a good thing in the sense that it doesn't stay boring for long. I mean, usually we're gonna, after long consolidation periods like this, we're gonna get some type of move, and I think it's looking pretty good right now overall for crypto. I was just reading something. I think you actually sent me the article this morning, talking about the Bitcoin whales have been accumulating like crazy. Ethereum whales have been accumulating like crazy. And, it doesn't feel like it because the price isn't moving up or anything. But, they're kind of battling the day traders and things like that.
Like, to give you this as a talking reference, right? I mean, so this is something, guys. So, guys, this is what Zach was talking about. And I love the daily hodl, and that big part of what Zach and I do every day is we're looking at content out there. And this one was really interesting. I mean, so basically the point of this was, Zach, to your point, right? We've got, because of BlackRock filing for the Bitcoin ETF, you've got basically all these other financial institutions saying, "Oh, this Bitcoin thing must be real." Oh, seriously, it took it always takes something. It takes an event, right? Some big heavyweight to kind of push the needle, and you've got where institutional money is starting to flow, and this is actually tracking Glassnode right here. So Glassnode is actually tracking this and says, quote, "The share of Bitcoin supply held and traded by U.S. entities, i.e. financial institutions, was witnessed a significant rise since BlackRock has filed for that Bitcoin ETF." So so give us some thoughts around that, Zach.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positive sentiment since BlackRock has come out and basically said, "Hey, we want to get in the game," and you're seeing all the other firms out there kind of follow suit, right? And then we've got the big crypto exchange. I think that's a big news piece too. You got the Fidelity, Schwab, led by those two and some others, creating a new centralized exchange, which, I know people have mixed reactions upon that, especially people who've been in crypto for a long time, who are kind of true to decentralization and things like that.
Purist.
Yeah, purist. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is what I've been saying. I want your opinion on this too, Austin. At the end of the day, in order for us to get mainstream adoption, this day was coming, whether we liked it or not, right? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like, I'm a purist, I love decentralization, but in order to get mainstream adoption, we need to reach across the aisle, and it's going to be the Charles Schwabs, the Fidelities of the world to do that, right? So what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, so number one, you and I are both on the same page about this, right? And drop in the comments, guys, let us know your thoughts. But I mean, here's what it comes down to. I will say this: institutional money is the key to the entire crypto market capitalization. And I'm talking about this number right here. Let me show you this number right there. I'm talking about that number, 1,190,000,000,000. We all want that number to go up. If that number goes up to 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 trillion, I don't care what crypto you own, pretty much anything in the top 100, the valuation is going to go up dramatically along with that. That's very, very simple math, very simple analysis. And that to me is what it comes down to, is that however you feel about, Fidelity and Schwab starting a centralized exchange, I don't care. Meaning I don't have a problem with it, because I view it as a part of what we want to happen regardless. We want traditional financial institution to come in, because that unlocks the gate to floodgates to trillions and trillions of dollars to flow into crypto. That's what we need to happen. That's it.
I agree. And I think you and I both kind of sit on the same side of the fence in the fact that listen, we get decentralization. We understand it. We understand why there are purists out there. And like, I'm not like hating on those sort of people, but I think we're more in the camp of we're looking at this as an investment opportunity, right? More than anything. Above all, this is a way to generate wealth for us, our families, our friends, people are in our circles around us. And we're in before the big dogs, right? That's the way I look at it. We're in the game. So no matter what, we're on the ground level here. We're just waiting for the big suits or whatever you want to call them, the institutional money, the whales, the sharks, the suits, whatever it is, right? We're there before they are. And I mean, that's what it's all about. So from an investment standpoint, I mean, you got to love it. I mean, you got to love it.
Yeah. I mean, if you follow very simply the kind of the doctrine that Zach and I have been talking about since day one, and by the way, we'll get into SHIBA INU and all that stuff here in a minute, guys. If you follow our doctrine that just says, hey, look, if you have $1,000, whatever the number is, I don't care. If you just simply take that and say 60% of that number, approximately, again, not investing advice, right? 60% of that goes into Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't care how you slice it, half and half of that. And the other 20% goes into the major altcoins, Polkadot, Cardano, XRP, blah, 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 blah. And then you give yourself 10 or 20% additional to kind of play with. If you put that back to your point, Zach, if you put that in now and you just forgot about it, you are in before 90% of the of the suit money, the traditional money becomes in before, and you will see that lift. You will benefit from that. I think that's how people need to look at it. So
no doubt. And again, I don't want to like, bury the whole decentralized nature of, I get it, right? But it's like you got to give something to get something. And I think that's what we have to give up in this instance in order to achieve mainstream adoption.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, I'm sitting on about 170 people here, which is cool for 10:45 Dallas time on a Tuesday morning. How many you got on yours? Do you know?
I'm not quite sure. That might be the combined number for all of us, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so hey, Believes is here. What's up, Believes, man?
What's
Good
up,
to
Believes?
see you, brother. I haven't see you out. You active out on Twitter and stuff. Good to see you, man. Welcome to hang out with us for a while. So what is this exactly? When BlackRoot gets into crypto ETF spots, they will not only pump, but they'll pump everything. I agree. WordStar promo is very, very cool. Let's talk about this. So somebody earlier, here you go. So Genesis, great question. Why hasn't Shibarium launched on time or the burn portal? So hold on, I'm going to mute. Zach, go ahead and take this. I'll be right back.
Yeah, real quick, I'll dive into that too. But I wanted to mention something as it relates to the centralized exchange that we just talked about, the EDX exchange, real quick. So keep in mind, and I agree that when these Bitcoin spot ETFs start to be approved, that everything will move. But with that centralized exchange, keep in mind there's 4 assets they're starting with over there. It's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, it's Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. We've seen Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash move on that news already. Keep your eyes on those sort of things. Litecoin's one that goes unnoticed a lot. Their halving, by the way, is ahead of Bitcoin's halving happening this year. So just keep in mind that it's not just Bitcoin over there on that new exchange. It's Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. By the way, I'd rather have Bitcoin than Bitcoin Cash. But on this front, why hasn't Shibarium been launched on time or the burn portal not working? Listen, Genesis, there has been some mix-ups. And there have been some things with Shibarium that I think everybody can be frustrated with, right? But I think they wanted to launch this at a time. This is my opinion. They wanted to launch this at a time that made sense, and I think personally they could have launched this a long time ago. I think this was pretty much ready to go, and they've been stress testing the network. Again, I don't know that to be a fact. I'm just kind of inferring because basically what they've been doing is stress testing the network for a while now. They've been adding millions of users and they've been, doing millions of transactions to stress test the network, which isn't a bad thing. I think they're strategically launching this, which I don't think is a bad idea at all. Again, my opinion. Yeah. I don't have alpha on this. This is my opinion. I think what they're thinking, and Austin, I want your thoughts on this. They're thinking, hey, it's cool to launch this, in August 2023, 3-year anniversary of SHIB and all of that. But I think more than anything, they're thinking, hey, the markets could be taking a turn for the better later this year. At least that's the sentiment from a lot of people out there as we head into 2024 and get closer and closer to the Bitcoin halving, which, by the way, is actually scheduled a little bit further ahead than once thought, given all the block time, things like that. They're actually eyeing March now of 2024 for the next Bitcoin halving. So I think a lot of people think the tides are going to turn late this year as we enter into 2024. Inflation's coming down, recession fears hopefully will be better, if not squashed. And I think that's what's happening with Shibarium. So what do you think?
You took all the good talking points. I totally agree. I think that I was reading something this morning on one of the financial services that was talking about, we've got July 25th and 6th coming out, right, with the FOMC Fed meeting. It looks like the CPI, and the rumor now is, the speculation is the CPI and the PCE, the inflation data reports that we get, they're going to be better than expected, meaning we're going to see a pretty fairly dramatic drop in inflation. Which would mean that the Fed may, not raise rates at the end of July. Okay. So I'm saying all that in the context that I actually agree with you. Kind of our opening statement for those guys who are here with us when we opened is that traditionally June and July are boring months in crypto, make money in May, go away, kind of those things. And it actually applies to stocks as well. I think we had to get through July. I think a big barometer is going to be, and this is obviously outside of Shibarium launch, I think a big barometer is going to be CPI, PCE, what the Federal Reserve FOMC does from an inflation standpoint. If we see good things go there, I think we'll see crypto start to move back up. And you and I both know when we roll into August and September, kind of begin that Q4 scenario, I think you're going to see your traditional Q4 bull run, start all with, oh, by the way, add on top of that, what is it? I'm drawing a blank. How many Bitcoin halving events have we had? 3, 4? I can't quite remember. I think 3. Yeah, or something. So somebody called me out on that, but I'm just pulling that from my memory. And they happen approximately every 4 years. And every single Bitcoin halving event, you can go back and look at the charts. There's insane amount of charts out there. Period. End of story. This is not Zach and I'm making this up. It's big. Crypto and Bitcoin go up stupidly high around Bitcoin halving events. Period. That's it.
Yep. And here's the thing. I mean, as Bitcoin's price goes up and up and up and up, those gains will be less and less and less. I mean, Bitcoin will eventually become less volatile over time just because it's bigger. It's harder to move the needle, right? But it still doesn't rule out the fact that Bitcoin could maybe 3x. I was reading what Raoul Paul put out there.
You mean to add your stuff to the stream so you can talk about it? Is that what you got?
Well, hold on. Give me a minute. I'm trying to find that. Okay. I know the article you're talking about.
It's all over Twitter. You can just literally go, Bitcoin halving chart, right, and you'll find it. I mean, it's just
I'm trying to find that one article that there's one great article. But
while you're looking for that, you go ahead.
But anyway, that last point. I mean, Raoul Paul, super smart guy, macroeconomics. I mean, he thinks a conservative estimate's 180,000. I saw another article today, like 120,000 sometime in 2024. Keep in mind, we just got on the doorstep of about 70K in 2021. So, if we were to 3x from that, we could even be looking at, 200,000.
I always hedge my bets and go above 100. Which, I mean, is 3x from here. Let's just call it what it is, right? The old guy in me is like, okay, well, let's cut it in half. If we 3x, which means Bitcoin 3x, crypto 3x, etc. Genesis, thank you for your answer. Will China be likely addressing the white paper stance on removing crypto ban in China, possibly leading to other crypto? Here's the thing. China's going to do what they're going to do. Obviously, China on record officially hates crypto. I know you've got Hong Kong.
Or then they love it the next week.
Then they love it the next day. I mean, I know they're actively pushing their CBDC. And I mean, there's so many conflicting, it's hard to, basically what Zach just said. They love it one day, and then the next day they literally think it's the worst thing ever. So
I think I might have found that article, dude. Hold on, let me see. I think I found it.
Oh, he's found it. He's found the article. Okay. Look at this. Holy jiggly cow. That's pretty funny.
All right, that was nice. Oh shoot, funny. I didn't find it actually. There's one that really does a nice job. It shows like the percentage gained after each halving.
I love this. I'm going to call out K-Dubs. Everyone who's investing in crypto will go broke. I disagree, right? I mean, thanks for your input. I mean, that's fine. It's a talking point, but no, I don't agree.
Well, okay. K-Dub,
Go ahead, Zach.
what's a better investment in the last 12 years than Bitcoin? Don't worry, I'll wait. I'm sorry, man, but like,
don't worry, I'll wait.
The facts are there. I mean, what's a better investment than? I mean, you could say like SHIBA INU or what, right? I mean, even altcoins, but I mean, let's just focus on Bitcoin. What's a better, what do you call it? Normal investment or whatever. What's a better traditional investment than Bitcoin? Don't worry, I'll wait.
There you go. Yeah, don't worry, I'll wait. All right, everybody give Kate's sitting over there. Everybody give Zach some claps for that. That was actually a really good response. Don't worry, I'll wait. So let's see some claps. You guys hit the like button, please. Definitely give us a like on this so we can tell the algorithm that we are here. So anyway, Tyson says totally disagree. I think he disagrees with K-Dubs on saying everybody invests in GoBro. Here's the thing. It's like anything, don't do stupid stuff, right? I mean, literally, if you just put some money into Bitcoin. And here's the thing, don't go all in on crypto. You and I have always said
100%.
Don't have your stocks, have your mutual funds, have your ETFs, own property, blah, 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 blah. And if you don't have a lot of money, then split some between stocks and between, crypto, if you so chose,
Yeah, so I agree. I agree 100%, man. I mean, and basically make a decision, like how much do you want to allocate toward crypto? Maybe it's 10% of your portfolio. Maybe it's 5%. Maybe, it doesn't have to be a ton.
Be smart.
Have some exposure.
Be smart. Okay, so let's talk about this. We get this question all the time. Do you ever see SHIB going to 1 cent? And if so, when? I did a video actually this morning, Zach. It was an article I sent to you, and it was if we look at real quickly, I'll pull this chart up. If we look at SHIB right now, so right now SHIB's right there. It's at 5075 and change. So I did a video talking about the fact of when we could go to 301. So basically move 2 zeros over. They were talking about 3 years for that to happen. Now, I think there's two things that article didn't take into consideration. And I think and it was this article right here, and it was on Watcher Guru. And I love Watchers. They have great content. This is where they were talking about it would take till basically July 26th. I think what they didn't take into consideration is Shibarium launching and the monthly burns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trillion tokens burned. They didn't take that into consideration. And I think they didn't take the Bitcoin halving event, right? The entire crypto market capitalization going up. So what's your food for thought? And back to Tim talking about SHIB going to 1 cent. What's your kind of time frame?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can happen in due time. I'm not eyeing that number in particular. I've talked about this in videos. I actually like 0.001 a lot more. And I know obviously it's not as high, it's not as tough to get there, but I think it could still ink a lot of millionaires.
Yes.
And I mean, that's still a huge move. And you start doing the math on that, it's a little bit easier to get there. But Boomer effing Sooner down below there, below Tim's channel, he's breaking down some of the math. Yes, to my knowledge, that's correct. But here's the thing, Boomer. It's not just per transaction that we're looking at burning SHIB, right? It's look what some of these tokens and DApps are doing, integrating a burn mechanism within their system. So we have to think about this not only in the transactional burns. That's great. That's a piece of it, right? But it's not all of it. So the other thing, like with Koyo and what some of the other, I think Dogpad Finance recently came out today. They're an official Shibarium project. They said they're going to be burning SHIB and bone. I got to make a video on that at some point. I'll send you that article. Austin, I just came across it right before we came on. But I think there's probably more potential there for anything and everything. This is what I think should happen. Anything and everything that builds on top of Shibarium, it should be a priority. And again, maybe if somebody knows Shaitoshi, get this message to him. It should be not a priority, what do you call it? It should be
built into their contract. Is basically what you're saying.
Yeah,
a burn mechanism built into their contract.
Yeah, they should have to have a built-in burn mechanism in whatever you want to build on top of Shibarium. Anything and everything. Yeah. If they just did that, this whole per transaction thing, I mean, obviously it's a big piece, but then, right? I mean, it's just a piece rather than we're putting all this stock into it, because Boomer's right. I mean, there's going to be a ton of transactions that need to happen if that's the only way we're going to burn SHIB, but that shouldn't be the only way we're going to burn SHIB, right? We have these other ways. whether it's DApps or tokens being built on top, build in a burn mechanism for all of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think what we don't have clarity, we don't have visibility into is obviously we don't have clarity and visibility into the true into how many transactions there are. But if you look at it and you simply say, okay, you know, I envision a day, Zach, where I agree with you. That'd be awesome. So anybody get out there to, you know, I think that if a project launches on Shibarium, I think that's something you heard it here first, right? If we could get that, that'd be cool. They literally have to build it into their contract that if they're running on Shibarium, they have to burn, you know, like Koyo does. But you're talking about projects that either port to or launch on, Shibarium. I think that's really, really cool.
The other thing too is like just strictly community burns too. You know, community burns.
So let's see. Jamie's calling me out. Okay, Jamie, you guys need to stop misleading on your vids, especially you, Austin. Like yesterday, you flat out lied about a comment by Satoshi saying bigger, better things coming, and that's not what he said. Okay. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate you trying to call me out. I'm always the first person to stand up and say if I said something wrong. I make 5 or 6 videos a day. I've made over almost 4,000 videos. I'm not going to get it perfect every time. And if I said something wrong, I'll take full responsibility for it. But what I did hear and what I do know is that there's more coming beyond Shibarium. So yeah, there you go. So Jamie, I appreciate you.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters. Oh, we got some haters. Hey, Barry's here, the Pump and Dump Brothers. I would love for somebody to actually show me where we've pumped and dumped, where we've actually did that. We've never simply done that ever. I love that. So Zach, you got anything you want to say?
No, it's we must be doing something right. That's all. Yeah. We must be doing something right. So
if you don't like it, why are you here?
No, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the people who support us and the people who don't. We need them all. Yeah, we need them all. So
we need them all.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. There you go. So good stuff. Oh, thanks, Genesis. I'm nearly alive. Hey, if I say something wrong, I'm not going to get it perfect every time, guys. You know, I mean, I'm human, just like everybody else. Zach is. I'm usually better than Zach, but that's okay. You know, but, anyway, all right. So I wanted to show that. That's good stuff. Okay. So
I mean, that's a good point though. Like we're literally just like you guys. I mean, we're just navigating the space. We're in it every day, but I mean, we're learning every day too. So like, we don't have it all figured out.
What is this? You guys didn't sound too good about Shibarium. I don't even know what that means. We talk about Shibarium every single day. I think Shibarium is the revolutionary new heart of the SHIBA INU ecosystem, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, cool stuff. I like it. Foxy. Hey, Angela's here. Austin reads the news in between naps, so give him a break. Yep, that's about right. Bam. All right. So there we go. Okay. So let's shift. Let's talk about. So what you got anything you want to throw up there? What do you got?
No, I was just looking at home. I got nothing here. Well, I did make this thread on Twitter that I thought, if you want to show this, I just posted it. So hopefully this helps people. I'm going to start like kind of doing more of this stuff. So 10 things everybody needs to know in crypto. All right.
That's cool.
Diversify your portfolio. Bitcoin is king. Have plans, both long-term and short-term. Network. Meet as many people as you can in the crypto industry. Learn from everyone. Be prepared to lose trades. You're not going to win every trade. Learn from it and apply what you've learned to the next opportunity. Take profits. Have a strategy and stick to it. Don't listen to the same voices over and over. Listen to people with different perspectives, different ideas from various cryptos, about various cryptos and sectors. Number 8, don't focus on just one crypto. You'll miss out on many other opportunities. Number 9, everyone in this industry is not set out to do good, but do your best to find the good people and stay close with them. There are still a lot of great people in this industry. And finally, number 10, fall in love with the process, fall in love with learning something new every single day, getting better and better at shaping your financial future. So my 10 commandments, if you will.
That's good stuff, man.
Like it?
And you came up with that all by yourself.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I get those creative urges, and I was like, all right, let me just do a little thread here. So
wow, I'm like, man, that's pretty smart.
There you go.
Pretty smart.
There you go. I try.
Here we go. This is Michael's asking a good question. Do you have more money invested in SHIB or Bone, and which one do you believe will go up once Shibarium is released? Mine's definitely SHIB, right? I bought about $10,000 worth of Bone. I know, Zach, you bought a similar number between like 90 cents and $1.04. And so there's that. But yeah, no, it's SHIB. And I think it's interesting. Actually, he raises a good question. I think because SHIB's market capitalization is so big, it takes so much to move the needle there. I actually think bone will go up probably more percentage wise.
Yeah,
What's your stance on that, Zach? It's a great
I
question.
agree. I agree with you. And I think, yeah, I mean, just strictly on a market cap standpoint, right? We got Bone pulled up here, 287 million. By the way, Bone fell out of the top 100, but was recently just back in there when it was up at $1.40 or whatever. But yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of upside there just given that the market cap. Here's the other thing I've been saying, Austin. Bone's not listed on Binance yet, right? And I
I
mean,
know.
like the Binance effect is real. We used to think like every exchange had this drastic impact, and it kind of did back in the day when we first kind of started. Like
Yeah.
anytime you would get an exchange listing, even if it were like, you know, throwing no shade on these guys, but like a smaller one like Bitmart or L Bank or something like that, it used to really move the needle. It doesn't anymore, right? But Binance
Mhm.
does. And maybe that
Mhm.
changes again when we get back into a bull run. But no matter what market, Binance moves the needle. So I think just exposure isn't really there yet for Bone. People can't buy it everywhere. So I mean, when that happens, and I think
Mhm.
the fact that it's just smaller market cap, yeah, I agree. I think the
Yeah,
upside,
you're driving right there. Pull up the markets there where you can buy
yeah,
bone. I mean, I buy it on the deck side, but you can buy it on the pretty much.
yeah,
There's definitely major exchanges. I buy it on Uniswap.
yeah. There's
Um,
definitely some big exchanges. I mean, I think most of their volume does come through the
or
DEX, does it?
Shiba Swap.
No.
Shiba Swap. I mean, I bought it on both. I bought it on Shiba Swap and I bought it on Uniswap. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you got Mexi, they're getting a ton of volume. OKX is a big one, obviously. Like you said, Shiba Swap there. Gate is a pretty big one. So I mean, there's definitely some places, but you know, uh, obviously Binance just so massive. I mean, I think that would move the
Yeah.
needle alone.
Yeah, but it's funny you brought it up. I had forgotten that it wasn't on Binance. I had forgotten that
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
there. I mean, and you look at Leash. You got Leash
I was
too.
gonna
I know
say,
you're
yeah.
about to pull up Leash. Yeah, I mean, Leash ran all the way up to like 547 in
How about
just the
that?
last 7 days and pulled back.
Look at this run up in the
You
month.
know,
This is the 1 month chart. Look at this run up, man.
yeah, yeah. I
254
mean,
bucks like a month ago.
yeah,
And yeah, 250 all the way to well over 500. And then that was 100% return in a really short amount of time, like 3.5 weeks.
yeah. So here's a good question from I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Osama Oki Bone can get to 500. That's actually a it's funny. I mean, I haven't ran the market capitalization numbers on what Bone would, what it would be if it got to this, but I don't think that $5, $10 is out of the question. I mean,
Well,
I'm just, what's your 2 cents?
I agree with you. I haven't ran the numbers recently, like, down to the science, but here's what they're referring to. The big thing is
Hmm.
that the circulating supply, I'm pretty sure it was at 100% recently, but that circulating supply is maxed out, right? So this is the
Hmm.
amount of coins that are circulating in the market that are in public hands. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, once all that supply is gone, supply and demand tells us, right? That, there's going to be some high demand for it, especially when we turn the corner and we have Shibarium out there. If all of it's already trading hands, then, that could be a really good thing for positive price impact. So um, I think that's kind of what they're referring to there. And the other thing too, we saw when Bone, looking at SHIB supply real quick, actually. Uh, see, this is harder to kind of navigate, but they have so many issues with this on Coin Market Cap. But yeah, that's what makes Bone very unique. But I think when they first launched, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't it come out at like $40? Bone?
On what, Bone?
Yeah. What was Bone's
Oh
initial
man,
launch price? It
I,
was
I'm honestly,
something.
I don't remember. It was,
It was weird
slept since
because it
then.
was, yeah, it was
Just good.
fluctuating
Just
so much back then.
pull
Let
up
me
the
see.
all time. Just pull up the all time.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, well,
41.67.
okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 2 years ago. That was right when they basically launched, I
So
think.
it launched it. When it launched, I mean, I was aware, obviously, but I wasn't tracking it. So it launched at 41, and then,
Give or take, yeah.
yeah, interesting.
Somebody in the comments can correct me there, but yeah, give or take. I mean, it was basically right around that number, right around that all-time high number. Um,
Wow, it's crazy. And I mean,
either that or it got there really fast. It was like within hours, it was up there, and it was so volatile.
well, I mean, but look at Leash going to all-time high of $7,900 and then drops and then goes back at one point to like 4,900 or something. I mean, if you look at the all-time, chart for that, it's the same thing. Those numbers are absolute insanity in a certain way. But here's what I would say, and I think I would end on this. The corollary is that historically, when bone goes up, Leash is going along with it, right? I mean, that just there seems to be that corollary. So that's why I think when you and I, we started talking about, hey, not investing advice, but you should be buying some bone, and if you want to, you should be buying some Leash. And I use the analogy. I know you've heard me say this. How would you like to have been around when Ethereum was up, $50? I'm not saying that they're the same thing, but you're being able to buy bone before, in my opinion, what it will arguably be one of the biggest layer 2 launches of all time, if not.
And I mean, there's so many parallels with this across the board, like taking it outside the SHIB ecosystem for a minute. I just covered another video that's going to be coming out on my channel later today about Solana. A lot has been said about Solana, right, in a negative light recently. But if you go back and look at historically, like what happened with Ethereum had a huge price drop back in 2018, very similar to what we saw with with Solana here after its big run up. Everybody said the same thing about ETH back then. Well, that was it for ETH. It's the end of the line, right? They had that one big run. And I mean, obviously Ethereum did what it did in 2020 and set new all-time highs in 2021. So, I mean, you got to zoom out a little bit. But basically Raoul Paul, who was again on this article, was talking about even if Solana did half of what Ethereum did, you're looking at like a 28x from here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Solana still ranked number 9. I mean, so basically, coming back to the SHIB ecosystem again, I mean, what those numbers that we saw in 2021, we can expect those to go higher, especially if we get more adoption here. I mean, I think we're just scratching the surface with a lot of this, and it's so hard to zoom out.
I'm going to set you up for a question here in a minute. And you're like, and by the way, Zach has no idea what I'm about to say to him. So this is not it. But what do you see? It's Blue Bison. Thanks for the super chat. What do you see as SHIB's place in the so I'm bored it is. It absolutely, guys. The SHIBA INU token is still central part and parcel. It is part of it. It is the token. Obviously we've talked about the burn factor of that. Bone is the gas token. Nothing's going to change. Okay. So thanks for the super chat. Here's my question to you, Zach. So you kind of, when you're talking about Solana, gave me the idea for this. You called me, I think it was 2 days ago, and you're like, hey man, I just saw an article where people were saying SHIBA INU is dead. It's done. We're out of there. And you were like, it laughed. It made you, I think about like last summer. But it's also, people said Ethereum was dead. People are saying Solana is dead. And it's like, so I want you to, so go, put some meat around that.
Well, I mean, I think it's human nature. It's human instinct to like live in the moment and maybe too much so, right? When it comes to investing, right? And it's like, especially when you're in it every single day, you kind of get so micro focused on the hourly chart that like you forget like how volatile crypto is. And when you really zoom out, like what the bigger picture looks like, as fast as SHIB came down, it went up even faster in a very short amount of time. All it takes,
it's come down with the entire crypto market coming down. And I know you, but I think people forget that. And I always want to keep hammering that because it's not, and I think people, they think it's like, oh my God, SHIB's dead. And this, it's not going anywhere. It is again, community, token. You and I talked about that a million times. Sorry to interrupt you, but the entire crypto market,
You're 100% right. I mean, the point I was just trying to make though, is like, all it takes is literally a few weeks for things to just go parabolic. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I held it. I mean, look what just happened to Pepe.
Yeah.
Pepe's perfect example here. Like, it was nothing. And then boom, $1.7 billion market cap. Like,
and then it pulls back.
And it pulls back and we're waiting for that next big run. Like these runs, they happen fast, right? And
Right.
it's that FOMO event. It's retail money coming in. It's that perfect storm that we saw in October of 2021, that we saw in May of 2023 with Pepe. Those perfect storms don't happen all the time, but that is the name of the game in crypto, right? When it happens, it happens fast. And we saw Bitcoin do the same thing, setting its all-time high too, back in 2021. So
yeah, I think that if for I got like 200 plus people here, so it's awesome. Thanks for spending some time with us, guys. Truly, if you and by the way, hit the subscribe button, please drop a like, all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
For me, crypto is a very simple question, right? And SHIB INU is part of this, and you know probably what I'm about to say. And if we do this, so that's still you. Hold on, let me remove that. Hold on about that. Add that. Okay. So for me, it comes down to that number right there. And here's the question. I always pose this. I've talked about this in videos. You need to ask yourself one question about crypto, and that is, do you believe that number, the entire crypto market capitalization is going to go up at some point in time, be it 6 months, be it a year, be it 2 years? Yes or no? And if your answer is no, then you don't need to be in crypto. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, if you do believe it goes up, it's going to go up, then go, all right, cool. I need to have a very conservative planned strategy where I take the majority of my money and it goes to Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those are your two biggies. And then 20% or whatever goes to pick any other major altcoin you really want to, Cardano, Polkadot, whatever. I don't really care. And literally lock it up and forget about it for 2 or 3 years. And you'll show up in about 2 or 3 years and you'll look, now the crypto market's 3 trillion, 4 trillion. And your investment will have way outpaced the S&P 500, traditional finance, all that kind of stuff. To me, that's as simple. I mean, what do you think?
All we have to do is look at the history of Bitcoin, Ethereum. I mean, let's just take those two, for example, right? They make up 70% of the market. I always say this, and I've been saying this a lot lately. I try to, make up the bulk of my portfolio too, 70%, 70%. The moral of the story is, even without even going into the crazy altcoin space, right? The crazy degen space, the meme coin space, the gains just in Bitcoin and Ethereum absolutely destroy anything else.
Yes.
Any traditional
with more volatility.
But if you look at it in a decade's time, let's take a 10-year horizon, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close. So,
but would you agree,
history
Zach?
always,
would you agree?
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Well, add this into that narrative. Would you agree that it's the volatility that scares the hell out of people?
100%. 100%. People can't stomach
so take
it.
that and run. Yeah.
People can't stomach the volatility. And I mean, that's why, sometimes the best thing to do is set it and forget it. We hear the stories all the time. It's like, guy, realizes he's got, $10 million on a freaking USB drive of Bitcoin that he bought 8 years ago. Well, would he have that today if he was in it every single day and looking at all of the charts going like this? Probably not, right? Probably not.
He would have sold it.
Yeah. But with Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's why, when I think I mentioned this story too, it was probably even with you when we were talking, like when I went to that Bitcoin Miami event, not this year, I went last year in 2022. And I was talking to all the Bitcoin maxis. They were like, we just buy Bitcoin.
I know, every day.
We just buy Bitcoin every day. And then we look up 10 years later and we're like, oh my gosh, look at this return, right? I mean, it's stupid simple, for them, and that has tended to work for everybody who's done it that way.
I would agree. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I would buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and but I'm more diversified. But I mean, to me, it just, people overthink it and their emotions get involved and they see they see that. And that's I think that to me is truly the narrative. Whereas if you look at stocks or you look at mutual funds or you look at ETFs, there is not that volatility there. Right. And but if you're making 10% on your money in a mutual fund, I mean, you're like, oh my God. I mean, that's just crushing it. You're killing it. Right.
Yeah.
But there's not volatility. It's volatility that scares the hell out of people. And they run away going, oh my God. And then they turn their back and, it's the rest is history. So,
hey, just quick heads up. I got to run in like 5 minutes. I didn't know if you were going to stay on.
Yep.
I totally forgot, but yeah, I just wanted to tell you. I was
You
gonna
got to
mess
go.
around. Yeah, well, I'm going up to the lake for a little bit today.
Got to get out. All right. So, hey, real quickly, let's shift gears. Zach and I have been talking about a really fantastic project. In fact, Zach, I'm going to let you kind of talk
Yeah.
about that real quickly. So, we've been talking about Grape. Grape's been sponsoring a lot of our stuff. So, I'm going to let you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Grape, new layer one blockchain. So basically, quick backstory on these enterprise blockchains. They have been huge in the last year and a half. A ton of these
Mhm.
new layer one blockchains. Basically, what a layer one blockchain aimed at like the enterprise solutions is doing, they're bridging the gap from like Web 2 companies to Web 3, allowing people to easily build dApps utilizing, in this case, the Grape blockchain. Now, what Grape's doing is really integrating AI. So a lot of these Web 3 layer ones have not integrated AI. And this is all to form a decentralized internet. Highly encourage you guys to check out the site. There's a ton of great stuff here. It's a very, very deep and vast light paper. Check it out down below. But a lot of big tubers talking about it. Crypto Wendy, one of our colleagues, if you will, in the space. I saw her talking about it. Crypto Mason, bunch of people talking about it. Of course, Austin and myself have been talking about it. Had a chance to meet their team as well. And
Yeah.
I actually went ahead and bought 5,500. I think you did too, Austin. Did you buy
Yeah,
the
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had talked about what we wanted to do back and forth. I went ahead and bought 5,500 in the pre-sale, which pre-sale's going on right now. So if it's something that interests you after you've done your homework, you've done your due diligence, both of our links are down below. So if you're watching on Austin's channel, he's got his link down there. If you're watching on my channel, I've got my link down there.
Yeah. What I want to go back to the technology because like again they're in pre-sale and they're probably about 3 months or so out from launch. So there's only going to be 10 million tokens in circulation, less than Bitcoin. And their technology, they're architecting it to have 700,000 transactions per second. Nobody comes anywhere close to that, right? And so they're truly, that's what got our attention, was the enterprise strength of what they're building and what they're doing. They're going after metaverse and gaming first. They've got
Yep.
some big announcements coming. We're going to be talking about them. I think we're going to have an AMA. Again, run it through your own due diligence, guys. And they are channel sponsored, straight up, right? We're very forthcoming about that. But we both, to Zach's point. In fact, let me share
Yeah.
mine, and I'll show you mine. It's proof here. We both put the exact same amount in. There's mine. So I put 5,500, probably going to do more in the pre-sale. So put my money where my mouth is. So did Zach. And the cool thing is they're giving you bonus tokens too. So they give you bonus, I think a 10% bonus in GRP coins. They're also giving you bonus GGT, which is their governance token. So
Mhm.
right now that is approximately 64%. So you get an additional 64% in their governance token. So I think they're doing some really, really cool stuff. And link in the description below. You just click on it and you can show you, like, you'll see this page right here. You can register for free, check it out, run it through your own due diligence and all that kind of stuff. But I think this is one that I'm very, very excited about. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll
anyway.
tell you guys this. Austin and I recently, and listen, when you're investing in pre-sales, it's always kind of, you don't know what's going to happen. But this is not a meme coin pre-sale. Like we've been in those
Mhm.
too. This is much different. We recently got into a layer one pre-sale tenant, and that
Yep.
one 10x'd for us. We put 2,500 into that one, each of us. We're always looking for
Yep.
new opportunities, always. And again, you're going to win some, lose some, but I'm telling you, these enterprise layer one blockchains seem to be the flavor of the month, if you will, right now. And there's a lot of them coming out, a lot of big tech behind them, and some big VC funding too, and investors.
Yeah.
So it's something to check out if you guys are interested, and definitely
Okay.
give them a look.
So I know we're about to lose you. So yeah, and I may stay on for 5 or 10 minutes after you leave. But so kind of final parting thoughts. We've had some good questions. I think we've covered a lot on Shiba Swap. What's your kind of final thought? Do you believe August 15, 16 for the launch date of Shibarium?
I think so. I mean, I think they almost have to stay true to their word now, and I get why they would want to do so, because I mean people want to know. I mean, people are getting frustrated a little bit. They're getting antsy. We could feel it, right? Like we're in it every single day, and so yeah, I think they have to deliver here in August, and I think they will, and we'll be off and running, man. I just can't wait for it to get up and running, and actually see this thing come to fruition. But then, all eyes are going to turn toward the metaverse. And then I think in addition to that, I know you saw the news recently, SHIB's getting into AI and the partnership with Bad Idea AI, which has been a quietly good investment as well. I think that's big. The fact that they're going to be rivaling the likes of the centralized authorities and kind of doing it their own way. That's the cool thing with Shibarium. It unlocks all these capabilities of forming their own AI tech, forming their own metaverse, right? But Shibarium's the glue. Shibarium's the glue that keeps it all together.
Yep. No, I agree. I think it's going to be one of those deals where we'll see how it all plays out, and it's just going to be cool to watch. And I agree that I think that they're gonna deliver. I don't have anything really more to add to that. Somebody asked something about buying bone. Hold on before I leave you. Hold on just a minute. Where was that? I apologize. Somebody was asking, do they need to buy bone? Go ahead.
Can I jump to another one that I just saw real quick from Genesis?
Yeah.
That one. No, just that comment. I would like to ask, with the rise of AI over the past year, has there been any discussion of this type of technology having an impact on the crypto landscape? 100%. And Genesis, all you have to do is here. This is the only way I know how to do this. Is do this. You can look at this on CoinMarketCap too, but this is the entire crypto AI sector, right? You're looking at a sector market cap of 2.63 billion. So yes. And really, when you think about this, when you think about AI and crypto, think about big data. That's really like the easier way to kind of think about it. So yes, there's a ton of parallels. I made a video about like the intersection of AI and blockchain. And like you have two budding industries that are like so new, coming together, merging together. What a time to be alive as an investor. I think this sector is going to see, and has already seen this year, some of the biggest gains, some of the biggest opportunities. From the Graph, which has been around for a while, to Singularity Net, which recently partnered up with Cardano. Fetch AI had a huge bullish run earlier this year. And so many others.
You and I were early. We put some early money into Fetch. I remember we did. I think that's a good point. I mean, and a good strategy for this, Genesis, or anybody listening, is like, you could come in here and go, okay, the number 1, 2, and 3 right now are Graph, Singularity, Notion, respectively. But I want to be involved in AI, crypto AI. Buy a little bit of each of those. Not investing advice, right? Now you own a little piece of some of the AI guys, the top 3 AI guys in the sector. I mean, you and I've done that before. We've gone and looked and said, okay, I want to buy some of the top guys in gaming, and you and I, respectively own some of that, and so forth and so on. So
I mean, here's one down in here, Optimus AI. We did some work with Optimus AI. They've had a massive run up as well. They're in the top 25, but there's a lot of these ones down here in these sectors. Now, obviously, there's more risk associated, right? But some of these could be the biggest gainers when they do start moving. So, I mean, there's a lot to get into, a lot to unpack, and you could do as much research as you want to. I mean, when you're looking at all of these different possibilities here, just in this one sector, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, man. I think you said you got to go.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna head out. But it was fun, man. We got to do this more often, and I think we're gonna start doing this like once a week or something like that. Just kind of little updates, kind of hanging out.
Once or twice. Yeah. I mean, I think it's I like doing streaming, and we just don't do it enough of it. For me, life gets in the way. I got a teenage son, and he's in summer, and I'm renovating the house, and just so forth and so on. I know you're where are you even at now? Is he like, Zach's got the life, right? He's living in Florida half the year, and now where are you even at? I don't even know. Actually, I know where you're at because I know where your office is. You're in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm back in Ohio right now, but yeah, man, I'm just trying to travel a little bit. I think I want to live the digital nomad life a little bit. I might go out of the country next later this year. So drop in the comments as we head out. Where do you think I should go? Where do you guys think I should go?
Yeah, cool. All right, man, we'll get out of here. So if you guys stay here, I'll still actually be broadcasting to Zach's channel, even though if he leaves. So if you're on Zach's channel, even though he leaves, which you probably want that better, you probably just really want to hang out with me, So anyway, there you go. All right,
appreciate you, man.
I'll see you. Yeah, okay. I'll see you.
Bye.
So yeah, y'all stick around, and we'll we'll do all things crypto here. So yeah, let's take a look kind of really quickly where we're at with the chart action. Drop in the comments. Let's just kind of maybe do another 10-15 minutes of Q&A. In fact, here's one. MS Lauren, is Shiba Doge part of Shiba Inu? No, it's not. That is a completely different project. So that's a fantastic question. So I'm going to pull up the chart here real quick and kind of see. Let me add this to the stream show. Let's kind of see what's going on in crypto. So right now, crypto is kind of in this 0.74 range. Earlier, guys, we were talking about when Zach was here, we were talking about I think there's some stuff out there for the remainder of July. So remember that we're going to be getting the PCI and the CPE report, which are the inflation reports. We've got those coming, and we've got the Federal Reserve set to meet at the end of the month on July 25th and 26th. And I think those are some of the biggest kind of X factor things out there. Now, the rumblings and the rumors is that we're going to get good data showing that inflation's going down, which means that most likely the Federal Reserve would not raise interest rates towards the end of the month. And I'm telling you this in the context so that you understand those are kind of macro catalyst factors that are out there, okay, that can impact crypto. But right this second, crypto is kind of in this not a lot going on. We talked about it. If you're just joining us, we talked about it earlier, kind of at the top of the live stream, that historically June and July are very slow months for crypto, and so there's a lot of truth in that. There's a major precedence. I've been doing this this is my third summer of covering crypto, and it's always been slow. So it kind of is what it is. So so drop in the comments any questions. Let's just kind of do a Q&A, and we can kind of chat. Angela Crypto says, feels like we are waiting right now. We're waiting. We're absolutely waiting, guys. We're waiting to kind of see what's going to happen with the Fed, all that kind of stuff. Like if we pivot and kind of take a look at just stock on the stock side of it, which you guys know, if you follow my channel, I do look at this as well. Look, the Dow's up 189, Nasdaq's up 15. That's probably it's up because this Microsoft Activision deal is clearing a huge hurdle. But right now stocks edge higher as inflation data looms. So what you're seeing, just to give you some context here, you're seeing this is a big court case, okay? But also you're seeing this guy right here. You're seeing this one right here. Stocks edge higher and wait for inflation data, stock market news today. So what does that mean? That means that the stock market effectively believes right now that we are going to get good data. We're going to get data in these inflation reports that says that inflation is going down and that we are most likely going to see the Fed not raise interest rate. So that's why you see the stock market running right this second, because that's kind of the consensus on Wall Street, is that we're not going to see that. Okay. Now, if we pivot and we kind of look at crypto, right? Crypto started moving up. I mean, it's inching up. I mean, this morning it was not really doing anything, and now it's starting to. So you're starting to kind of see that bleed over factor of, okay, crypto starting to kind of see that as well. So again, just giving you guys a little bit of insight. There we go. So Genesis, what do you see happening for Cardano after the hard fork upgrades and testing? Here's the thing. It's a great question. What I see for Cardano is I tend to look at Cardano more from a long-term standpoint. For me, Cardano is one of those blue chips, buy and hold scenarios. And I don't really get caught up, Genesis, in the kind of the day-to-day movement of the coin, okay, of the ADA coin. So I just literally kind of buy it, and I literally don't pay attention, and I just kind of let it do its thing, because I believe in the long-term value that it's going to go to, $1 or $2, $3 down the road, as again, like I say all the time, as the entire crypto market goes up in valuation. I know that my Cardano will go up in valuation, because again, for me, to make it really simple, it always comes back to that number right there. As long as there's things that I believe that are going to push the entire crypto market up, then my Cardano investment is going to go up in value. So you're asking a good question about the hard forks, upgrades, and testing, but I'm aware of them. I track that stuff, but I'm not really looking at it in the context of like, what's it going to do or not do in the short term for the price action of Cardano ADA. That's how I look at it. I think there may be some, moves up or down respectively in the short term because of the hard fork upgrades and testing. We know that Cardano, as an example, was named in the Binance lawsuit when the SEC sued Binance. That hurt Cardano a little bit, right? But again, I don't let that kind of worry me, right? And I take advantage sometimes of these dips. I mean, to be able to buy Cardano at 29 cents, that's not a bad deal if you're looking at it in the more of a long term, down the road scenario. Okay. So, Lord Worship also waiting for Shibarium. Absolutely. I totally agree. Amos has been on watch. What do you see Bone going as far as price in short term as we near Shibarium? You boy, I tell you, I wish I could tell you. Here's what I think. I think Bone, let's take a look at Bone. It's a good question. So, Bone right now is trading at $1.25. And in the last, say, 7 days, it has reached that kind of that high of, say, $1.44 and change. But if we look at the all-time highs, right, we hit $3.21, and then you got these two move up right here where we hit basically $2. So I think easily $2, I think, is very reasonable as we get closer to Shibarium launch. And that's a price move up just off of the fact of, hey, Shibarium's launching, Bone's going to be the gas token, blah, 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 right? But I'm also looking at it past Shibarium launch, Amos. I'm looking at it, post launch, right? I'm looking at it going, okay, as Shibarium launches and it starts to unfold and we start to see transactions, I always remind you, Bone's the gas token. And if you look at, they're similar but not the same. And I'm not comparing Bone to Ethereum. I'm only using it for kind of a metaphorical stance here. Bone being the gas token of what I believe is going to be one of the biggest layer 2 launches of all time. I think you'll see Bone, number one. I don't see it dropping back dramatically. I think it'll rise to that $2-3 range, and I think you'll probably only see it go up from there. That's my personal opinion. That's why I bought a pretty significant amount of it at about the 90 cents. I'm kicking myself. I don't always catch them. I wish I would have bought it at about 68 cents. I bought Bone back in the day at 20 plus cents, and I sold it and made some profit. But I'm looking at Bone right now as a buy and hold, because I believe that I believe that the value of Bone is going to continue to rise post Shibarium launch is really what I'm trying to convey to you. I think it's going to be huge, So, all right, guys, drop in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Oh, you're welcome, Genesis. No problem. Cardano and Matic still holding strong. I love both of those, right? I mean, I own both Cardano. I own Matic. I think that they're both going to continue to be fantastic opportunities. But here's the thing, we all know, we're all aware of the SEC and what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. But I'll also point out something. You also notice that the SEC did not sue Cardano. They went after Binance. And they named Cardano in that, and they named Polygon and some others, but they didn't go after them as projects, right? So there you go. Okay, so Shiba needs baby steps. Yep, I would tend to agree. HB, okay, you both were super bullish on Saitama after the Vegas event. I was. That was years ago. Thanks for bringing that up. I was very bullish, but I was also very forthright and candid about when I sold. Saitama, there was a lot of issues that we all saw unfold. And I and Zach both talked about it, right? And we saw the pros and the cons, and we were always doing as best we could with the information we had at our at that time. Both of us were very candid about when we sold and why and the reasons and things of that nature. But I appreciate you bringing it up. Yeah, I mean, you can go back and watch all those videos. There was constant. The thing about Saitama was there was missteps. As they were continuing to roll on, they couldn't get. They kept promising things and they couldn't get them out on time and things like that. And I wish that they would have. I wish they would have done better. I really wanted to see Saitama do better. I absolutely wanted the people who were invested in Saitama to do well, right? And I always wanted that. So thanks for asking the question. So there you go. So anyway, yeah, guys, feel free to ask any more questions. I'll hang out with you for another 5 or 10 minutes and just chat and kind of talk about the state of the union. I'm going to show you guys a couple of articles that I found. They were really interesting here. That we're talking about kind of if you missed this, we were talking about this at the top of the video. Talk about the live stream, talking about how there's institutional money now coming in because of the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, right? And we've got institutional money starting to come in. And to me, institutional money is the key. It's the key to the entire crypto market moving up. You know, it's the key to this number, which I talk about all the time, the entire crypto market capitalization moving up, because we need institutional money. And we're starting to see that. And there's a Glassnode, which tracks all this stuff, is starting to see data proving and showing that institutions are starting to buy and, you know, hold and trade Bitcoin. And it starts there, and then it moves to Ethereum, and then kind of goes from there as far as like institutional money stepping in. I love this kind of big move is coming. Crypto analyst reveals forecast. He's talking about how Bitcoin's going to go up to 40,000+. Again, I'm talking about Bitcoin, but remember, I'm not just talking about Bitcoin when I talk about Bitcoin. I'm talking about Bitcoin, but also how it impacts all of crypto, which impacts any of your major blue chips or any major cryptos that you own. Okay, so that's something that is really important to me. And again, this is another article over on the Daily Hodl I love. Another massive ways of capital from institutional investors hits Bitcoin and crypto markets. So we're starting to see this, and I think we're starting to really see, we're starting to really see the beginnings of institutional money coming into crypto. And I think and you're early. You know, Zach and I talk about that all the time. If you're here now watching this live stream and you own any major crypto, you're here early. So that's something I really want to stress to you guys. So there you go. So let's see. Okay. All right. Well, guys, I think I might wrap it up there. We got few questions, but nothing I haven't really covered. Still got 140 plus people. I want to thank you guys truly for your support. Thanks for everything. Thanks for supporting my channel, my videos. Yes, guys, I'm not perfect. If I don't cover everything perfectly all the time, and nobody does, right? And so all my goal is real simple. I try to just basically give you guys information to help you navigate crypto, help you guys make more money in crypto, be a little bit better informed, give you my opinion where I think it's relevant, and just to kind of help you navigate it. And that's really what I care about, right? And I think if you're looking at any project, anything, do your own due diligence. You know, like we talked about, Grape earlier, and they're a fantastic, new sponsor for the channel. We talked about them. But again, guys, don't take my word for it. Run it through your own due diligence. Go to their website. I'm just using this as an example. Read their white paper, their light paper right here. It's 31 pages. Read it, read through it. And then if you feel like it's right for you, then do it. Don't go do it because I did it. Don't go put money in it because I put, 5,000 in it. Oh, Austin did it. It's, it must be perfect. Don't do something if it's not right for you, is my point. Okay. And again, links in the description below if you want to check them out. But I'm using that as an example. Just because I did something doesn't mean you should do that. And I think you always need to do your own due diligence. You need to run everything from your own standpoint. Even if you're thinking about, adding to your SHIBA INU bag, or you're wanting to buy bone or leash or whatever it is, do your own due diligence, right? And always have a plan. And don't go all in. Don't go all in on SHIBA INU. Don't go all in on, in my opinion, don't go all in on Bitcoin. I know there's Bitcoin maxis out there that don't like that, but hey, it is what it is. I'm a believer in diversification, right? You need to diversify. And again, diversify outside of crypto. Don't just be in crypto. Own some stocks. Go buy some Amazon and Tesla and whoever else you want. Or if you don't want to own individual stocks, just basically put some money in some mutual funds, some ETFs and things of that nature. Bottom line, diversification, right? And I think that's really, really, really what it comes down to. So I say that all the time, but I ultimately care about you guys, and I want you guys to make as much money as possible. And I'm not going to get it right every time, but I'm trying to help you in any way I can. So thanks for your support, and thanks for your time. So I'll see you. Thanks to my moderators who were here helping me out a little bit. Thank you so much. And we'll see you. Have a good one. As I always say, go make some money. I'll see you.